You hear your wife moaning through the neighbor's door. Freshly retired, you're standing there with a glass of whiskey frozen in place. You can't help but marvel, your wife still has that kind of passion. You don't kick the door in, you don't want to leave a bad impression. Instead, you chuckle bitterly, pour yourself another sip, and try to swallow down the ache in your chest. You glance at the neighbor's new Ford Mustang parked outside, and you can't make sense of it, same retirement age. Yet he seems to have struck it rich overnight like hitting the lottery. Meanwhile, you have absolutely nothing. You spent over 20 years making $300,000 a year. Your financial advisor assured you it would be enough to live comfortably in retirement, yet your standard of living hasn't improved. In fact, you moved from a luxury villa to a modest neighborhood. You can't control your emotions anymore, you're past the years of striving, and the future feels set in stone. You think this sounds absurd, right? Let me tell you, this isn't some fictional story. This protagonist is my friend, sitting in front of me, telling me everything. Decades of relentless work were supposed to secure a peaceful retirement, yet the money in his account seems to have barely grown. The retirement plan you think is safe, it's a precise blueprint walking you straight into financial ruin. If you haven't retired yet, you absolutely need to hear this. Imagine someone retires for 10 years. No job, no side hustle, no sudden inheritance. Yet their account balance is higher than their last day of work. Not by a little, by a significant amount. It sounds impossible, like reassurance a financial advisor gives at a dinner seminar. But researchers tracking retirees for decades have found exactly this. Many people leaving work in their 60s have more wealth 10 years later. Quietly, without any clever maneuvers. Hold that image in your mind, it directly flips the story we've been told. The story goes like this. You save, and save some more. You hit some magic number, flip the switch, stop working. And then you enter a long, slow bleed. Every coffee, vacation, and new set of tires eats away at your wealth. Your funds slowly shrink, and all you can do is hope they last. This narrative is deeply embedded in our money mindset. Most people never question it, they clutch tightly to surviving retirement. Fearing every withdrawal, believing money only flows in one direction, out. But that fear, that intuitive certainty that spending equals bankruptcy is based on calculations almost no one ever gets right. Here's the lie, most people plan for retirement focusing on a single number, say $2 million, they reach it, then pray it's enough. I used to think this way too. But in reality, the number that determines whether retirement succeeds isn't the portfolio balance. It's something almost all mainstream advice skips, the real spending gap. It's not about how much you earned or saved. It's the difference between what you'll actually spend after stopping work minus all of your guaranteed income. This gap is almost always smaller than people imagine, sometimes shockingly small. If you don't know this, you make decisions based on a phantom threat, imagining a problem far larger than reality. Think about expenses that vanish the moment you retire. Commuting, gone. Work clothes, gone. That 7.65% payroll tax, overnight it disappears. The money you were putting into your retirement account each month, no longer an outflow, it starts coming back to you. I've seen countless couples in this exact situation. Before retirement, household spending might be $85,000 a year. After retirement, same house, same vacations, same lifestyle. Spending drops to $62,000. No sacrifice. Entire expense categories just vanish. Consider this. If your actual expenses drop from $80,000 to $60,000, your portfolio only needs to cover $60,000, not $80,000. Just from recognizing this, your pressure drops by 25%. Before even planning how to fill the gap, then guaranteed income kicks in. In 2026, the average Social Security benefit for a retired worker is about $2,071 per month. For a couple where both worked, this can reach $50,000 a year. This money comes on time, regardless of last week's stock market. So, if your household needs $70,000 to maintain your lifestyle, and Social Security covers $42,000, your portfolio only needs to provide $28,000, not $70,000. $28,000, that's the real number. That's the actual gap. Taxes shift too. Payroll taxes vanish. Taxable income drops, sometimes substantially. IRS data shows most retirees fall into a 12% tax bracket or lower, while their peak years may have been 22 or 24%. Three things happen at once. Expenses drop, guaranteed income arrives, and taxes shrink. Almost no one accounts for all three, they just stare at portfolio balances and panic. That fear isn't caution, it's miscalculated responsibility disguised as prudence, and it steals years people could have truly enjoyed. If your default retirement math is that money only goes down, follow closely. What comes next will feel uncomfortable. Most people spend decades training themselves to save, control spending, avoid running out. That instinct is so deeply ingrained that when retirement arrives and the script flips to spending, many still can't adjust. Even with a healthy portfolio and no urgent financial pressure, they hesitate. The house feels too big, vacations are postponed, minor repairs drag on. All driven by fear something might go wrong someday, the harsh truth that hesitation often costs more than the risk it avoids. Imagine a retiree with a $2 million portfolio, conservative 5% returns. That's $100,000 of growth per year, completely untouched. If they spend $50,000 annually, net assets still grow $50,000. But the feeling of scarcity persists. Money is compounding, yet the ability to enjoy freedom doesn't increase. This invisible tax, self-imposed frugality due to misunderstanding the real spending gap, forces many retirees to tiptoe through their healthiest, most capable years. It's not about market drops or portfolio size, it's about clarity. Without a precise understanding of the income gap, retirees are just guessing. The actual amount savings must cover beyond guaranteed income. Reacting emotionally to portfolio balances, even small dips tighten spending unnecessarily. Two retirees with similar portfolios may experience life completely differently, one frozen by fear, the other confident because they understand their money. Knowing how your retirement income system works has a massive impact. Better outcomes rarely come from intuition or anxiety. They come from those who step out of fear and manage with clarity, and use repeatable structures to guide them. If you're in your 40s or 50s, don't see this as a countdown. It's the last actionable window. 3 levers determine everything from here. One story stuck with me. Someone with $900,000 saved, still wasn't sure they could retire. 5 to 10 years out, this uncertainty is incredibly common. The real gap isn't savings, it's information. Knowing exactly how much the portfolio must cover. Step 1. Calculate the real spending gap. Don't just look at your portfolio or Social Security estimate. Honestly, estimate annual retirement expenses, including travel and medical emergencies. Subtract all guaranteed income, Social Security, pensions, annuities, anything reliable. What remains is what your portfolio must cover. Say projected spending is $72,000. Guaranteed income covers $38,000, the gap is $34,000. Using a 4% withdrawal rate, you need $850,000 invested. Not the $1.8 million your portfolio balance might suggest. Most people never do this calculation, they only see the money piling up. Without this awareness, they oversave during work years or remain overly cautious after retiring. Next, consider layering rather than lump sums. Guaranteed income is your bottom line, a stable net that doesn't fluctuate. On top, build semi-passive income, dividends, interest, maybe small side gigs. If this layer provides $30,000 per year, your main portfolio withdrawals drop by that exact amount. These steps don't require perfect planning or mastery, just clarity and incremental, controllable action. Know your current state, understand your gap, layer income, manage taxes thoughtfully. This quietly transforms retirement from anxious guesswork into structured confidence. Ask yourself, are you still in accumulation mode or transitioning into distribution? Where are you on this journey? Retirement rarely looks like the grim countdown many expect. Those who enter this stage clinging to decades of worry often find that the fear-driven picture doesn't match daily reality. Bills are manageable, Social Security arrives reliably, savings are drawn but not depleted. This isn't luck, it's often overestimated expenses or underestimated stable income. Retirement isn't the end of financial growth. It's the shift from wealth accumulation to managing distribution, requiring mindset and habit adjustments. Many are surprised to see wealth grow after retiring. Compounding assets don't necessarily shrink when work stops. Sometimes the portfolio just shifts from aggressive growth to careful distribution, and it can quietly continue to grow. The key is to protect guaranteed income sources like Social Security and pensions, then layer discretionary assets on top to let the portfolio work for you. Seeing balances hold or grow for years, even with regular withdrawals, dissolves doubt. This isn't a story of overnight riches or reckless speculation. It's a solid, math-based strategy grounded in reality. The promise is modest but powerful. Survive steadily, not get rich fast. Small, intentional steps create financial breathing room, tracking income, keeping flexible spending, maintaining buffers, making retirement less fearful and more controllable. Now consider your place in this picture. Are you still gripping decades of anxiety, or stepping into retirement with a clear understanding of income, buffers, and adjustments? What small changes can you make today to ensure your savings survive and quietly support a stable life? Leave a comment below. Where are you on this journey?